What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some lovely new Shadows cards that we need to be talking about. You see, I did show you some new Shadows cards from Mass Mutation the other day, but unfortunately we didn't actually have time to show you all of the new ones. So I thought today might be a nice time to show you the other new Shadows cards from Mass Mutation. Yay! And we've got 3 creatures and an artifact to have a look at, so we might as well start off with the artifact, Safe House. Not to be confused with Safe Place, which was a Shadows artifact which came around in Call of the Archons. Safe House is an artifact that gives you an amber bonus, and it's got an action that lets you archive a friendly creature from play. And this one I like a lot. Now, it is an action, not an Omni, which means it's got to be used on a Shadow's turn, but it is an action that you can use on every Shadow's turn. And what it does is let you archive a friendly creature from play. And what you're really looking at here is there's an outside chance that it will be a creature you really don't want to get destroyed and it's about to get destroyed, but the vast majority of the time what we're looking at here is a creature with a coming into play ability. So one of my favourites here, and we do not have the complete list for Mass Mutation yet, we do not have a complete list of cards that are in and out, so I'm just using examples until we have a full set list. But we've got Urchin. Urchin is a 1 power, 0 armor creature with elusive. It sucks. But when you play it, you steal an amber. So really what you want to do with Urchin is play it down, steal an amber, and then play it down again and steal another amber. Generally speaking, not possible. Oh, look. Urchin. What you do is you play it down, steal an amber, and then just archive it. And the next time you have a Shadow's turn, you pick up your archive. Oh, look, I've got an Urchin in my archive. Play it down, steal an amber. And you can just play it, archive, play it, archive, play it, archive. It says friendly creature, not friendly ready creature, not friendly Shadows creature. So it can be any creature you like. It could be something like a Dust Pixie, although we are fairly sure Dust Pixie won't be in the set because we have actually seen another creature which looks suspiciously like the mutated version of Dust Pixie. So, yeah, it's Gloriana's Attendant, who, I mean, the skill brings an enhancement double amber, rather than just having a double amber on it, and it looks the same. We're fairly sure that's a mutant version of Dust Pixie, which means that Dust Pixie definitely won't be in the set. But as a hypothetical example, play it down, gain 2 amber, then on your next Shadow's turn, archive it if your opponent hasn't destroyed it, and round we go. It's better for Shadows creatures because it means that your opponent won't have a chance to destroy them before they're archived, and in a deck where you're trying to build up a really big archive, an Eddie deck for instance, then you probably don't want to put random one-of Shadow cards in your archive. Having said that, in an Eddie deck this would make it easier to pad out your archive and harder for your opponent to forge. It increases the cost of forging by 1 for each card in your archives, so maybe even then it would be pretty good. Good if you need a big archive, good if you want to reuse coming into play abilities, bad if you're building up an archive for another reason and you don't want to clog it with Shadows cards, but other than that, love it, ladies and gentlemen, love it. Moving over into creatures then, we've got Subtle Otto, a 1 power, 0 armor creature, and no elusive, no skirmish, literally could not be weaker. But when you play it, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Oh. Yeah, that's actually really good. That's actually really good. You see, at the end of your opponent's turn, they're going to draw until they've got 6 cards in hand. And maybe they've got something like a mother or a daughter. Fine. And they can use that to draw extra cards. But outside of that, they're going to be drawing until they've got 6 cards in their hand. So what you do here is you just make them discard a random card. It's kind of reminiscent to me of Succubus, but Succubus lets them draw until they got 1 fewer card in their hand and is permanent, but your opponent can take it down. This is a coming into play skill. Also, you could get a really good card here, and that would be hilarious. The thing is, it's a coming into play skill. So clearly, Subtle Otto is a really good option for Safe House. You play it down, your opponent discards a random card from their hand, and then you archive it. And then you keep going, and you keep going. And then every single turn, your opponent goes and loses one of their cards. Not every turn, I suppose it's every Shadow's turn. But the fact of the matter is, it basically puts your opponent in a really awkward position where they are struggling mightily to have a higher than 5 card hand, and that amuses me greatly. I'm a big fan of Subtle Otto. I think it's quite cool. But we've also got Reckless Rizzo, another 1 power, 0 armor creature. It has at least got the decency to have elusive. The first time it is attacked, nothing happens. You essentially break the elusive. And then the second time it's attacked, the fight actually happens. But it's got an action that lets you steal 2 amber. But until the start of your next turn, Reckless Rizzo loses elusive. From a design standpoint, I really like this. I love the design of this card. You've got elusive, so it's more difficult to destroy. But if you steal 2 amber, then all of a sudden you lose that. And that's kind of annoying. But then it kind of makes sense because you've got the benefit of being able to get those 2 amber. So in that regard, it's actually really kind of cool. Consider me a fan, ladies and gentlemen. Consider me a fan. As for how good it actually is, I mean, stealing 2 amber is clearly very good. I told you about Urchin a moment ago, stealing 1 amber. Stealing 2 is awesome. One of the biggest issues with this card is you're talking about a 1 power creature, and it's an action. Not a coming into play skill, it's an action you actually have to use. So you play Reckless Rizzo down, exhausted, and then not even your next turn, but your next Shadow's turn, you can steal 2 amber. Well, that's not ideal, because you might want the 2 amber now. And there is, unfortunately, a fairly good chance that you're going to play this down, and I mean, even something like a Seeker Needle would be able to take this out. Your opponent can break the elusive with anything and then attack. I mean, this is the mythical situation where Toad could actually be useful, because Toad could either break the elusive, or being a 1 power creature, it could take Rizzo down once the elusive was broken. And yes, Toad would go down as well, but it's not often Toad gets to do anything, so go Toad! If it survives for a turn, you get to steal 2 amber, and that's nice. And if you get to steal the amber, it is awesome. But it is very, very much worth bearing in mind that there will be plenty of times where it just doesn't work. Where you play it down and it goes away. Now, having said that, the only other Shadows creature we've seen that has an action that steals 2 amber is the Shadow Council, the leader of Shadows, which is a 3 power creature with elusive, so more powerful but not overwhelmingly so. And it only has the action when it's in the center of your battle line. So it is a very, very powerful option in terms of stealing. It is a great ability, but then by the same token, it's not ideal because 1 power and you lose the elusive when you steal. You've been warned, ladies and gentlemen. You've been warned. And finishing off with Lyco-Thief. A 3 power, 0 armor creature that has both elusive and skirmish. And as a fun little quiz, can anybody else name me the other Shadows creature that has both elusive and skirmish? I'll give you a moment. You ready? It's Knuckles Bolton. To be fair, we don't see many skirmish Shadows creatures at all. We've seen a grand total of 9 before this set. But this is Knuckles Bolton. Like, it is exactly the same as Knuckles Bolton. It is a 3 power, 0 armor, Shadows creature with elusive and skirmish. The only difference here is it is a mutant thief rather than an elf thief. Otherwise, it is literally just Knuckles Bolton. Knuckles Bolton has proven to be fine over the years. It's okay. It's a nice little creature. Skirmish means if you start a fight, you take no damage. Elusive, we've already mentioned, means you have to be attacked once to break the elusive, and then you have to be attacked again in order to actually be taken down. It gets a little bit of durability that most Shadows creatures don't get, but honestly here, it's hard for me to really say this is a good card. It's fine. It's not a bad card. I'm not offended by the card. I just look at this and go, It is aggressively fine. It's useful. It's fine. Now, of course, it's called Lyco-Thief, and it is clearly very similar to, Untamed creature. Bearing in mind that one of the logos cards we've seen so far is Lyco-Bot. And then if you look at some of the other logos cards we've seen, we've got Demobot, Umbrabot, and Dinobot. And this is telling us quite clearly that logos have these bots, which essentially you get one for each house. It seems like we're going to be seeing a very similar thing with Shadows, except they're going to be thieves rather than bots. Will we get one for every house? I don't know. But if we have a look at Lyco-Bot, it is similar to the others, except it's got Skirmish. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a Demo Thief that when it's destroyed, you get to steal an Amber. And a Dino Thief that when you play it, you may exalt it to deal 3 damage to a creature. Because all of the bots have one skill the same. When you reap, you discard a card from your hand to draw a card. And then an extra skill that fits the house the particular card is aping. We've not seen enough to say we are going to get the other thieves, except, spoiler alert, it's a special rare, so it's extremely likely we will. I would expect all of the thieves to have somewhere around 3 powers, though maybe 2 or 4. I would expect them all to have elusive, and I would expect the other skills to be very similar to bots. If we look at Lyco-Thief and Lyco-Bot, they're both what they should be, but they've brought in Skirmish. So I think the Thieves in Shadows are going to be very, very reminiscent of the bots in Logos. Bots in Logos we have actually seen, like I say, we've got the 4 of them. There are presumably 3 more. Thieves, we've only seen the 1, but I think it's fair to assume that we're probably going to see a couple of others as time goes by. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the other new Shadows cards that we've seen from Mass Mutation. There are plenty more cards we haven't seen, and you know that as soon as they're revealed, I'll be here to help you out. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about these cards, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Keyforge and Digimon and all kinds of other fun games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.